Hello, friends. Hi, this is Ganesh Naik. Thank you very much for joining in. I'm back with one of my students' interview. She has been able to clear the FRM Level 1 in her first attempt in May 2022, and she's currently working in public sector bank in India. And we're going to be doing a quick loud of conversation with her to understand what was her way of preparation, which book she primarily followed in the order, what was the challenges that she faced and how she overcame that, and finally, how was the exam. So with this, we're going to be starting out with our discussion. So first of all, Prati, thank you very much for taking out time. It's very early in the morning, and I know you're
Thank you.
taking out time to talk to me and to give the guidance to the audience. So thank you very much for joining. And just for the benefit of the audience, before we start, give us a brief background about you in terms of your work experience and like you're working in a public sector bank. We know about that and your educational background and when did you start your preparation for FR?
Well, sir, to start with, I did my MBA in finance in the year 2007 and got my first job in a private sector bank in 2007 itself. It was only, I think, in 2012 that I got selected for public sector bank as a specialist officer. And since then, I'm in that organization only, sir, continuing with that organization. Presently, my job profile is of a finance executive. And my main responsibility is to recommend an analysis of the credit proposals that are being put up before me, like loan proposals regarding to SME and corporate sector.
Okay. So from the time you completed your master's till this time today, did you did any banking exams in between like CAIB, JIB?
Yes, I have done JIB, CIB from IIBM that are being offered. Apart from that, from last 1 year, I have been pursuing some courses in risk management itself. Like from GAT, I did one foundation of financial risk. There is a certificate course in that. It's a foundation level. That's level 1. Yet to complete the level 2. And then one again certificate course in risk management itself from IIBF. So
okay, perfect. And then when did you decide to go for FRM? Which time frame? Which month you thought that okay, I should start now?
So actually, I was thinking from last 2.5 years about doing FRM, but was not getting the right direction or motivation, I should say. I think it was in the year 2022 itself. I thought that now is the time I should do it. Otherwise, it would be, the pattern is changing a lot. And so it would be difficult to cope up later. So I think in Jan, I thought that this is the time I have to give the FRM this year. I have to face it out. And I contacted you, I think in January on 14th, I contacted you. So it was not early, it was in the later part only that I contacted, but still you motivated and you said, no, it can be done. So I thought, okay, let's give a chance.
And before that conversation, you had got the books or you started reading something on that, on FRM?
Yes, a book I had got, but I had not read them, frankly. I've gone through the books, I've gone through the subjects, topics, what all were there in the books and all. So I found it quite engrossing because I have not gone through these books earlier. I have not gone through these subjects earlier, not gone through these topics at all. I was not well versed with any of the books except book 1. So I thought that it is a difficult exam, of course, and some preparation, serious preparation is to be required for this exam.
Okay. And then when you started the preparation, you got the video lectures and the question bank part. But what was the time that you were dedicating? And when was it? In the sense, morning or evening?
So frankly speaking, there was not much time I could devote every day because coming back from home, apart from family responsibilities and all, so there was less time for me for studies. But still, I tried to give 2 to 3 hours daily. I tried. Not very religiously, I followed the schedule, but 1 hour in the morning and maybe 1 or 2 hours in the evening or late night when I got time. I used to read the books and your lectures.
Okay, and you're following the Excel sheet itself in terms of preparation?
Yes, sir, completely.
And I used to follow the Excel sheet. Your pattern was to watch the video and then see read the textbook. Am I correct?
I was simultaneously only, seeing your videos and from the book, making the notes and all. along with it, and doing the question papers or the question bank that is at the end of the each chapter simultaneously along with the chapter itself.
And what about my question bank? Were you doing it Saturday, Sunday, or later?
No, sir. Along with the chapter only. The day
Same
I
day,
used to
same day.
same day. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So on an average, you were able to complete one chapter with solving on that day, by any chance?
Not really, sir. I think I used to do the chapter on one day, and the next day I used to solve the question bank of that chapter, particular chapter, and then again read the next chapter, and then do the question bank of that chapter the next.
Got it. Okay, okay. So primarily, and till when you were, and Saturday, Sunday, what was the time that you were giving on Saturday, Sunday?
Saturdays, Sundays were also not very different, sir, because there are a lot of work for us also to be done. So, but still, it was not like the weekdays. I used to give around 4 hours, I think, at the max, not more than that. Sir. Was not able to devote more than that.
Okay, okay. Perfect. So 4 hours on Saturday and 4 hours on Sunday. That is what we are talking about, or total 4 hours?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, when did you complete your first 60 chapters ka reading and solving?
I think, sir, I started in mid of January the course, and I was able to complete it only in the first week of April.
Okay, okay. And entire all the 60 chapters, or say primarily important chapters and some chapters were left like that, or entire
I
60 chapters?
completed full
Oh,
entire
okay.
60 chapters.
So February, March, and 15 days of January. That is, or first, basically
Yes,
3 months. 3 months. So on an average, you did one chapter a day
a day. Yes.
on an average. Okay. And throughout this entire journey, what was the major challenge that you faced in terms of book? Which book you felt slightly tricky for you?
Actually, sir, all the books are unique in themselves. So I would not say any one book, but yeah, the book two was a very big challenge for me because I was not very good at maths and quants and all. Because it has been a long time since I have done my MBA and also not very well versed with the quants and all. So book two was of course challenging for me, and
Okay.
I was really very apprehensive about book two only, that whether I would be able to do it or not. But once I started the book and with your video lectures and question banks, I found it actually easier than the rest of the two books that I was considering as a lot tough, easier than
Okay.
the.
Okay. Primarily because when you look at quant book, the second book, the first thing that comes to your mind is बहुत calculation होगा.
Yes, sir, yes, sir, of
Calculator बहुत ही.
course.
But when you actually go through it, it's more
Yes, sir.
understanding based rather than
Hmm.
and in the exam also you'll find more theory based question
I
from
think,
book
sir, my
2.
paper like 70-30. It was 70-30.
70-30. I'll come to that now. What happened on that day? Now, so
Mm-hmm.
by first week of April, you were almost completed with the reading of watching the video, reading the textbook, and solving the question bank. Then what did you do?
Yes, sir. So then I went for a second reading, for a second revision of entire course again. And here I
Okay.
would like to mention that your teaching style, I mean, you make the students understand each and every line of the Schweizer book. So that made a lot more easier the second revision, because then the
Okay.
whole books became very familiar to me. And any concept which I really got, I thought that it would not, I'm not getting it. I would simply open up your video and take that particular concept and completed the thing. So
Okay.
that the first reading and all, that made very easy the second revision actually. So that I think I did my second revision in almost 25 days. I was able to complete all the 4 books again.
Wow. Okay. And then did you solve the sectional test? Did you solve important concept quiz by any chance?
The test I was not able to do, sir. I didn't got
Okay.
time to do second test. So it was
And
only the
you,
chapters.
when was your exam? Which date?
It was on 19th of May.
So primarily the second last day, if I'm not wrong. Second last or third last
Second
day?
last. Second
Huh.
last.
So now so by say for example end of April you were able to complete your second full reading. Then did you start mock
Yes.
papers?
I started mock papers, sir, after that.
And what was
Your
the gap between one mock paper to another exam?
I think in the first week of May, I started with the mock test along with your notes. I actually now revised along with your notes, and then I went for the mock test. But I didn't solve the 4 mock tests. I think I did 2 of them, and that's it.
Okay. And when you solved two mock papers, you gave proper 4 hours time. You gave it
I
like
would
an
not do
exam.
that. It was
Okay.
not like that.
Okay.
So it was not like an exam. So I was very apprehensive about that also, whether I will be able to sit for a complete 4 hours or not, because it's
Okay.
a
Okay. Got
very
it.
long duration for any exam. 4 hours is really long. So, but on the day of the paper, that 4 hours also seemed a very, very
Small.
less time. So, 4
Okay.
hours ago.
But basically you saw the questions, the mock paper ka question, and you just said, Acha, what is the logic behind the
Yes,
question? And you went to the next question, please. Okay.
yes, yes.
Now, when you went for the exam, you started the exam in the first 1 hour. What happened?
So actually, when I started the exam, all the questions were like bouncers to me. The first 5 to 7 questions were like bouncers. I was not able to get the the gist, what they are asking, what they want to do, what I'm supposed to do. But then
Hmm.
I somehow concentrated myself. I said, no, I have to do it like okay. So I think I did almost 30 questions. I think 30 to 32 questions in the first task.
Okay. So you did not got the first 7, 10 question, but you were able to pick up the 11, 12, 13 from there onwards. You were able to understand what is happening. So primarily,
Like
just a point for the audience that I think so why GARP does it, because when you start, you're highly motivated. So they give you a difficult question to break your motivation and then see whether you are actually able to solve properly or not. And this is what I think so 2, 3 students more have told me on the interview, that the initial questions they were not able to solve primarily. And the best part is that if you stick with the exam, in the sense you said, no, I will give my best shot for the next exam, give the next question, next question. So when you reach over there, you realize, no, it is not that tough. You can come back to those questions and pick it up.
definitely.
So
Yes.
now the 4 hours, you were able to complete entire 100 questions properly.
Yes, sir. I would say not properly. I think I did almost 90 to 95 questions. I completed whatever I knew, I did it. And the
Okay.
rest 4, 5 questions, I was not very sure, sir. So whatever options, like they were very confusing among the 2 options that were left after elimination and all. So 2 of the options were quite confusing. So I think I guessed it all in the last 4, 5 questions and that were left.
Okay. Okay.
Otherwise, 95 questions, I think it was okay. I knew maybe what is to be done.
And the 70-30 that you said, 30 calculation. So in those calculation questions, were they easy? Matlab comparatively easy, or were they very tough?
Actually, sir, it was a mix of both. Some of them were actually plug and play. You don't have to do anything, just formula driven. But
Mhm.
some of them were quite tricky, and I don't know. I think 1 or 2 questions from probability were there, and binomial tree were there. I was not able to solve them at all. I couldn't get it why I'm not, because I have done so much of practice of binomial trees and probability, etc. But some 2 to 3 questions were there. So I was really frustrated with why I'm
I'll,
not
I'll
able to get the answer.
I'll come to that point. So primarily now, why does I feel this is my understanding, okay, that why institute is doing it. So they will take a base question of binomial tree. They will add 1 layer or 2 layer of difficulty. They will they will not give you information properly, or they will ask you to that, okay, this particular information is available through some other calculation. So they will add 1 or 2 level of difficulty into it. And the purpose of giving that is that you waste your time.
Maybe so.
Because
That is
what happens is, and they will primarily choose easy questions, which many
true,
people
sir.
would be able to solve, and they will make it slightly difficult because you enter with confidence, you waste your time,
Yes, sir.
then almost it is decided that you will not be able to clear the exam that way, primarily.
I think I wasted 10 to 15 minutes, sir, on that 2 to 3 to 4 questions.
But that is so if you want to clear this exam, primarily selection of question is also going to make a very big difference
Yes,
for your
yes.
success. So, in terms of theory, what happened in those theory questions, the 70 theory questions?
Theory questions was a quite complicated. I would not say it were very easy reading and not exactly the things Shwezer is writing. They were not coming from that exactly.
Hmm.
They were like a jalebi. They were doing it like that. You know,
Hmm.
घुमा के were asking the questions. So
Hmm.
actually, I was able to eliminate in most of the questions two of the options, but the rest two were quite confusing. Two of the options you have to read again and again to get what they are actually asking and what they are giving to you. So selecting
Right.
the right question at the end was really crucial.
Okay. And the question size of the question was very big, or two, three lines?
Not very big, sir. I would say some of them were two, maximum 2 to 3 lines question were there,
Okay.
but still they would put some concept in the questions that you would not be able to get what they are asking actually.
Okay. Got it. Got it. Got it. And now, when you came out of the exam, did you had any number in your mind that out of 100 I'll get 50 right or 70 right? What was that number?
And actually, when I came out of the exam, I thought what I have done, I don't know. It was a total disaster. And I was not happy with me at all. Even my parents called me. I told them I have totally lost it. I don't know what I have done. But then when I saw the telegram and all, I consoled myself that okay, rest of
No,
the
I
people
know.
are also getting sick.
Yes, yes. Everybody was of that. So it's a since it's a comparative exam, everybody's facing the same thing. And also in our group, like there were few students who were like, "अरे बहुत difficult गया, मैंने इतना पढ़ा, I did that, I did that." But they didn't realize that everybody is facing the problem, and they have cleared the exam.
They
They
have
have
cleared
also
this.
cleared the yeah. So now so what was the quartile that you have got?
Sir, in book one, I got quartile one, and the rest of the books, it was two.
Right. So primarily, first of all, book two, which you were initially facing, you thought that it is tough, gave you a good quartile. Secondly,
Yes,
even when you have solved the entire theory question, the 70 part, you were not confident, but still you were able to do better than the others.
do better.
So
Right, sir.
this is a good sign for people not to worry because the quartiles
Not to worry.
are getting good.
Mhm.
Now, what has been the feedback of people around you who have seen you preparing? Okay, some of the people from your office, your family, friends. What has been the feedback when they saw the result?
Actually, sir, all of the other people, apart from me, were very confident that yes, you will be able to crack the exam. Don't worry and all. It was only me that knew that exact position of mine. So, paper was when I told them about the whole the framework of the paper, they were also of the same view that paper was quite complicated and not
Hmm.
so very easy that you can go and just sit for the paper. You have to work harder for it.
Right. And the average score, I think so, was around 55. Around 55. So, I mean,
55.
if you're able to get something correct answer out of 100, 55, 60, then you're done.
55, and
You're,
I think 50 to 60 is a good score. So you can be confident on
yes.
55.
Yes. Primarily, the purpose is that they did, like you said, they don't want to make it as simple that anybody can predict what is going to be the
Yes,
exam
exactly.
next time. So,
Yes.
and the next part, because the next question that I have is primarily uh, somebody who is preparing from public sector bank for the FRM level one. What is the message that you might have for it?
So from my experiences, I would say that one has to give time daily for preparation of FRM. Like you cannot think that you will prepare for 2 months and you will be able to sit for the exam. It is not possible because the concepts are very new. In public
Hmm.
sector banks also, if you are working in a very specialized risk area, then only you may be having some idea of the books. But I would not say
Hmm.
all the books, but then having
Hmm.
idea of maybe one or two subjects. So for sitting for the exam, you have to be consistent enough and you have to give time daily apart from your job and all. That is the
Okay.
most important.
And normal students who are preparing might not be from public sector bank, but any work experience of students. What would be two or three tips that you would like to give to them to prepare for the exam?
Uh, so first of all, I would say that clarity of concepts is very important because some concepts are there that are very not very easy to understand. So you have to go through them again and again to get the actual gist of the concepts. So
Hmm.
clarity are one of the things. another, I would say again, the commitment towards of time. Daily you have to give time to this thing, FRM preparation. Otherwise, at the end, you will feel quite burdened with all the chapters in the backdrop.
Right.
And third, I would say is maybe time management when you're doing the exam itself. You have to see which questions you have to pick up for doing and which you have to leave for later stages, so that you are able to maintain all the quartiles and all for the passing
Right.
marks.
Right. Perfect. Perfect. Wonderful. Wonderful, Prati. I mean, this conversation is going to be motivation for a lot of people, banking people also, and also from working people. Because if I look at your entire journey, you started late, but you were able to complete the entire thing by first week of or mid of April primarily, and that
Yes,
was only possible because you gave that 2.5 month of your life after
yes,
office. So that actually, so this is a good point for people who are starting late, that even you can also clear the exams if you do it with proper dedication and sit with a proper pattern. So
sure,
your interview is definitely going to be motivation for a lot of people. And thank you very much again for taking out time and talking to us.
sir.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.